Hello, everyone. Hi. Let's see. What can we do? Hey everyone, just having some fun here. Felt like doing another live. Just to review the evidence against Tyler Robinson. I know that I've done it a lot, but what can I say? There's a lot of evidence to go through, and there's still a lot of people that don't buy it. So thought maybe I'll just do another review. So let's start with some of the evidence that came out at the prelim. So Tyler Robinson, a vehicle that is consistent with Tyler Robinson's 2013 Dodge Challenger, was seen entering the UVU campus on September 10th at approximately 8:30 a.m. Now, what I like to remind everybody is that Tyler Robinson was not a student nor even a graduate of Utah Valley University, and he lived 3.5 hours away. And by all measures, he is not a fan of Charlie Kirk. So why was he there? Then you see Tyler Robinson, or at least someone that matches Tyler Robinson's description, on the surveillance footage in the parking garage right after Tyler Robinson's vehicle, which they were able to determine the license plate from, is seen on camera. He is wearing, at this time, shorts. Now, according to the testimony, what he did during this first trip on UVU campus was he spoke with at least one TP USA member, and surveillance catches him around campus at multiple times, including at least one surveillance video catching him on, or one surveillance camera catching him on video going toward the wooded area to the north of campus, just across the street, which becomes relevant later. Then his vehicle leaves approximately 9:30 a.m. Next, you see Tyler Robinson entering campus on foot from the north. I think this is around 10 a.m. So a short time later. So obviously he parked somewhere off campus. He's on foot. I forget, and this is just me, this can easily be found, but it really doesn't matter. I think he's still in those same initial clothing, the shorts and the maroon shirt. Maroon, oh my God. That's when he goes to Chick-fil-A. And I'm sure that he's caught on surveillance there. There's probably financial records that's consistent with that. He leaves campus again. It's the third time that he comes back on campus around 11:30. I don't know the exact time, that he's wearing different clothing, all black long sleeve shirt, which is going to be relevant. I think he's wearing the same hat throughout. This time he's in jeans, walking with a noticeable limp. They catch him on surveillance footage going toward the Lucy Center. They catch him on surveillance footage going up the stairs of the Lucy Center towards the roof. Then other surveillance catches someone wearing all black, consistent with Tyler Robinson, holding something that resembles a gun on the roof, lying in the prone position. At 12:23 p.m., Officer Bagley hears a single shot. He recognizes it as a rifle shot coming from the Lucy Center. Officer Bagley is a Utah Valley University police officer, very familiar with the campus. He goes to investigate. He hears on the radio that they got somebody from the crowd, and he found that he was skeptical because he heard the roof. He heard a bullet coming from the roof. He recognized it as a rifle. He turns, this is according to his testimony, he turns to a fellow officer who said that was a rifle shot. The fellow officer says, I agree. He goes up on the roof of the Losi Center. He sees a disturbance of gravel where he knows there was a clear line of sight to Charlie Kirk. The disturbance of gravel was consistent with somebody lying in the prone position, as we later discover or confirm with the surveillance footage. He notices a red and black screwdriver that seemed out of place. He cordons the area off. Surveillance footage also shows that person that was lying prone, holding something, climbing down from the roof right after 12:23. I mean, whoever thinks that this was not the shooter, even I think Candace is like, this is the shooter. She just doesn't believe it's Tyler Robinson for some reason. But he climbs off the roof. I think that there is a shoe print. We didn't hear any evidence about this or any testimony about this at the prelim, but we're probably going to hear about this at the trial. Well, I think maybe even we did, and that it was consistent with the Converse that Tyler Robinson is known to have been wearing. I'm going to leave that aside because I don't know that. So, he goes to that wooded thicket. This is on surveillance footage. You can't see who it is because it's from far away. It's not the best quality, but definitely is consistent with Tyler Robinson's height. Hi, eclectic journalist. Thank you so much. I'm a big fan of yours. When you came on my X, or not my X space, but that X space the other day to back me up, thank you. You're the best. I'd like to know your actual name, if you don't mind, so I don't have to call you the eclectic journalist. But again, so he goes to the wooded thicket, which again, earlier surveillance footage shows the other person that was wearing Tyler Robinson, the other person that we presume to be Tyler Robinson in the other outfit going to check when he was casing the place earlier in the morning. So he goes to that same area. What do we have next? EJ. Nice to see you, EJ. Thanks. You're my one watcher right now, but maybe some other people will join. I just like to review all of the evidence because I feel like the more I say it, the better I'm able to communicate it. And sorry, my daughter just walked in. Rachel, I'm on video right now. Good night. Sorry. So I like to, and then I'm hoping that maybe some people will join the chat. But what happens next, this was what was recovered from Tyler Robinson's phone, according to a search warrant affidavit that was asking for more, for a search warrant to further search Google. They saw that Tyler Robinson's phone had a Google route maps from, I forget the name of the shopping center. Basically a shopping center or shopping mall about between 5 and 10 minute drive from UVU. And the route was searched at 12:46, so 23 minutes after the shooting, from that shopping center to Quick Quack Car Wash, which I think is about a 7-minute drive from UVU. Hey, 9 Inch Toe, what's up? If you guys want to tell me your name so I don't have to call you that, but I don't know if you want to stay private, that's cool. So that search is on Tyler Robinson's phone. It was extracted from the shopping mall, which is a 5 to 10 minute drive from UVU, to Quick Quack Car Wash. Also, what recovered was surveillance from Quick Quack Car Wash that again shows Tyler Robinson's 2013 Dodge Challenger. This is all within 10-minute drive of Utah Valley University. That surveillance footage, I think, shows him there at 12:54 or something like that. Perfectly consistent with everything else. This timeline is just in perfect synchrony. Then we have the text messages, and let me tell you what the text messages that came out of the prelim are damning enough, but they are not even the most damning. What he talks about the gun, leaving the gun at the drop site. He text messages that a coworker, or this is a later text message, that a coworker sent. This is Tyler Robinson saying that a coworker sent him a message about seeing him, the still from the surveillance footage, seeing him on that. So I'm sure that coworker is going to come forward at the trial. He text messages that he's going to turn himself in. I mean, he admits to it in multiple ways. Again, I think he talks about the etchings on the bullets that were recovered from that wooded thicket, along with the gun, the 30-06, that had Tyler Robinson's DNA all over it, multiple parts, including the trigger, the scope, the handle, the towel, which had Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs' DNA, which you would expect. The screwdriver that has Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggs' DNA. And then the bullets with the etchings that have Tyler Robinson's DNA. These etchings were made with a Dremel tool. Lance Twiggs said that Tyler Robinson asked to use the Dremel tool to make bullet etchings. And so Tyler Robinson's text messages refer to the etchings on the bullets. That Dremel tool has Tyler Robinson's DNA on it, along with more of the same caliber type of bullets that were recovered from the Tyler Robinson Lance Twiggs apartment. There was one unspent shell that had etchings on it, or unspent casing. Tyler Robinson references that. What I find so interesting is that, I know it. Thank you, Megan. It's like, and the reason I keep going through it is because there's so many people that are not either willfully ignorant and choosing not to see what their own eyes are telling them, or maybe they just are not following it and they're getting oh yeah, eclectic journalist. I haven't even gotten through, like, maybe I've gotten through like 25% because there's so he messaged the first message he says was, look under your keyboard. Under the keyboard, as Lance Twiggs testified, was a written letter. Lance Twiggs took a photograph of that letter where Tyler Robinson admits to the planning the murder. He says that he's been planning it for a week or so, a little over a week. That's consistent with how long before the campus event it was advertised, at least like 2 weeks. So that makes sense. Then that letter was burnt, I think, by Tyler Robinson himself, but a little bit of it remained and was found in their apartment trash can. What else? We have another Google route that was retrieved from Tyler Robinson's phone that shows from around where the gun was dropped back directly to Tyler Robinson's house. So he's around the gun drop site, and he does a Google map search to get back to his house. He actually types in his house. This was recovered from Tyler Robinson's phone. So why was he around where the gun was found? Well, we know because he was text messaging. Maybe Tyler Robinson didn't realize that these text messages were going to be retrieved, but he basically text messaged that every single thing that a prosecutor could want in a case. He text messaged that he planned it. He text messaged things that really were not even public. For example, the engravings on the bullets that he text messaged were not public at that time. They text messaged about. But to me, one of the things that is most inconsistent with the framing conspiracy is when he says from the same set of messages that he's surrendering with a sheriff or a deputy friend. And we know that he did surrender with a family friend, right? Along with his parents. So whoever's framing Tyler, how would they also know how he's choosing to surrender himself? And yet he messaged that. Then there's the Discord chats. I'm going to bust out all of the specific text messages because they are just like ridiculously damning. Yeah. So then they did the search warrant on his apartment. They found the target practice, which, you know, showed that, you know, maybe he wasn't a perfect shot, but he at least had gun experience and was not terrible. So he definitely could have pulled this off. I'm not a gun guy, so I don't know how hard the shot is, but from what I've heard with the scope, anybody could do it, really. And yeah, there's photos of Tyler Robinson back, you know, from before, holding all types of guns, so we know that he has some experience with guns. This wasn't his first shot. The 30-06 belongs to his grandfather. He testified about that. His parents recognized it. Lance Twiggs said that he recognized it as Tyler's gun. I'm sure I'm missing, I mean, and then the Discord chats where he says, hey, that was me at UVU yesterday on surveillance. Sorry, it's been great. And then he surrenders. I think the shoe print is also something that didn't come out at the prelim. At least, you know, I didn't watch every second of the prelim. Yeah, I'm going to pull up all the text messages. The reasons I'm not really doing it now is because my computer, as everyone knows, sucks. Like right now, it's just freezing. Every single thing I do just, I guess I have a really bad computer. But it wasn't bad for, you know, my legal work. It doesn't really present any problems. It's only when I'm trying to do these lives. So let's see. Let me see real quick. Because I want to read the text messages again and the Discord chats, because it's just like, how can anybody deny this? Now, the one thing you could say is that somebody else sent it from Tyler Robinson's phone, somebody framing him, but it doesn't make sense how they would know that, how he was planning to surrender. And of course, you know, Tyler Robinson, you know, he's not compelled to testify against himself. But if somebody took his phone and wrote all these messages to frame him, he is allowed to testify. I've actually called, when my clients are innocent sometimes, I call them to the stand to testify. Even when they're innocent, it's usually not the best idea to do that, especially during a preliminary hearing. But you're allowed to do that. And if there's some alibi, there was no alibi presented. This is, to me, one of the biggest things, is that when you live 3.5 hours away from a shooting, you would have an alibi. You would have something that puts you where you live or around where you live. Witness testimony, cell phone site tower testimony, ring camera footage of your vehicle parked in your driveway, time card, surveillance footage if you're shopping. You would have something that puts you there, but they didn't do that because he was there. They're not even going to dispute it. So 1 second. Let me pull up all the texts. Okay, so the first one, Tyler to Lance Twiggs. These are all to Lance Twiggs. So I don't know also if he was texting anybody else. We've seen from Lance Twiggs from Lance Twiggs' phone and from Lance Twiggs' testimony what he received from Tyler Robinson. But who knows? Maybe he was admitting it to other people. At the preliminary hearing, the prosecution wants to present enough to bind it over for trial, which again usually is much less than what they did. Here they went above and beyond, I guess, just to be extra safe, and because of all the publicity and the conspiracy theories. But they also might not choose to present every single witness that they have. Why? Because it's just going to open it up to cross-examination, plus the time constraints. You know, they had way more time than I've ever been given during a prelim, but that time was really filled up, and you have to, let the defense also present their side. So for these reasons, we could have other witnesses. The coworker that texted Tyler Robinson, as Tyler Robinson even references in another text, who recognized him from the surveillance still photos that were published. That witness didn't come in, not even those messages came in. The Google cell tower location data didn't come in. The financial transaction data for Chick-fil-A, I'm sure there was, at least one or two stops at car wash on the way. The gas station on the way, maybe other restaurant foods around the area. The Quick Quack car wash, which we know he went to, and whatever. The clothing is something that I'm want to know about. I haven't come across whether that was retrieved, either the original set of clothing that he was first wearing, or what he was wearing at the time of the shot. I haven't come across whether that was retrieved and put into evidence and tested, or if that was ditched. I think we're gonna hear from Tyler Robinson's dad, not only for the surrendering aspect and maybe the confession, but also to establish chain of custody for the gun, because because it belonged to Tyler Robinson's grandfather, there's going to have to be some way to the prosecution's going to want to show that it's consistent and makes sense that Tyler Robinson had it. So that would probably come out through the mom or the dad. That's my guess. So Tyler Robinson, first text message and to Lance Twiggs. Drop what you're doing. Look under my keyboard. Tyler, I tried deleting that message. Okay, so this is just Tyler Robinson's messages. Tyler, I'm stuck in Orem. Tyler, I still need to get my rifle. Tyler, I hoped I'd take this secret to the grave. And then this is in response to, are you the person that did it? From Lance. Tyler, I am sorry. Tyler, I've been planning this for a bit over a week. Tyler, I left the rifle at the drop point. Tyler, they've got a squad car near it. By the way, all these text messages, there's ping location data that can show where where the person was when they sent it. Not within like a square foot or something, but I think like pretty close radius. So, if it shows that he sent this message from right where a squad car was, which is right near where the gun was ditched. I mean, it's like, this is not even, who is still scratching their heads like this is a mystery? I'm so confused. Here, Tyler, I changed clothes there. There we go. He admits to changing clothes. That explains why we saw him in two different outfits. Tyler, the rifle is wrapped in a towel. I don't think that was told to the public. Tyler, remember how I was engraving bullets? Tyler, one of them says notices bulge. Which I don't really get what that meme means. I don't know if I want to. But I think that was the engraving on the bullet that was actually shot. and the casing was retrieved along with the gun. So now that was definitely not publicized. Tyler, my grandfather's rifle. Tyler, I told you the scope was good. Tyler, I'm driving home. Tyler, delete these messages. He thought that you could delete text messages. Most people do. That is not how it works. Tyler, if they question you, ask for a lawyer. Tyler, I'm going to turn myself in. Hold on. Because there's more. Let's see. So I already kind of went through the surveillance timeline, how he first came at around 8:30. We see his car, which was positively identified based on the license plate with Tyler Robinson as a co-owner. That was in a parking structure, which then we see Tyler Robinson in the shorts and the maroon shirt and the hat, which I think is kind of significant that because I think it's the same hat that you see the other Tyler wearing when he's in the other outfit. So then he comes in on foot after he left. He crossed Campus Drive. That's when he eats a Chick-fil-A. Then he entered the wooded area north of campus. Then during these visits, he's with a backpack. When he comes with his gun, I think then he's without a backpack. When he's with the dark clothing, long black sleeve shirt, we could see from the video that Candy Owens was posting, although we couldn't really see a face or anything much, we could tell that the person was wearing long sleeve black shirt. Now, I noticed that when he was limping in the surveillance footage, he definitely had something in his pants, shaped like a rifle. So I think that you also see in the surveillance footage him using his cell phone at times. That's gonna everything that's on the phone that he does with the phone is gonna leave the digital footprint. With that combined with the cell tower location, I bet also we're gonna see some other stuff from his phone because we know that he was following the news, so there's probably searches on his phone after the murder. My guess is that there's gonna be some, when they scrub his records from his computer and from like his email accounts and stuff, we're gonna see searches about a campus event, maybe more driving direction type stuff. Maybe he'd have research, how to get away with it or something like that. That's speculation. So I mean, but my point is that all that digital evidence we can expect to be presented, and we haven't seen it. By the way, Dr. Eric Christensen was the medical examiner that all of these people are trying to, basically they're calling him a liar, a perjurer, and even worse than that, somebody who's in a conspiracy to cover up a murder. Which if you're part of a conspiracy to commit murder, you can basically be punished as though you're a murderer. So Dr. Eric Christensen, who's been practicing medicine for 20 plus years, I think actually just 20 plus years as a medical examiner, so probably longer, has testified in multiple trials. You can find him testifying in different trials on YouTube. So, a very credible person. They're calling him a liar because in his medical his autopsy report, he said Tyler Robinson was killed by a single gunshot wound to the neck with fragmented bullet recovered that is consistent with a .30 caliber bullet that matches the Remington core-locked bullets that were retrieved along with the gun, and then again from Tyler Robinson's apartment. All of it has Tyler Robinson's DNA, including the ones that had etchings from a Dremel tool, which we found in Tyler Robinson's apartment, which also had Tyler Robinson's DNA, and which Lance Twiggs said that Tyler Robinson was using to etch bullets. So DNA testing on basically every single item of evidence puts Tyler Robinson there. Yeah, some of it has a little bit of Lance Twiggs DNA. To me, that is to be expected. I don't know why people find that like as in any way exculpatory towards Lance Twiggs. Again, I would be surprised if there was zero DNA from Lance on any of the objects. That these people just don't understand how DNA works if they are surprised that Lance Twiggs' DNA is also on the object. But you know what it wasn't, what Lance Twiggs' DNA was not on? The gun and the bullets. So who cares if his DNA is also on the towel? That hurts Tyler Robinson's defense. So when Twiggs asked Robinson if he was a shooter, he said, "I am, I'm sorry." Robinson expressed concern about fingerprints in text messages. Robinson stated he changed clothes after hiding his rifle. So I'm curious to know, again, the different outfits. Robinson specifically referenced in a text message the notices bulge engraving on a bullet. Police recovered ammunition bearing that exact engraving. Robinson discussed his grandfather's rifle. Police recovered an old Mauser rifle. Robinson discussed the rifle's scope. Not every rifle has a scope. Robinson's did, and he discussed it in the text message. Robinson texted that a coworker, again, I know I'm being repetitive at times, but so when the FBI put out those photos of a person of interest, I think, I forget if they did it on the 10th or if it was the 11th, but a coworker of Tyler recognized him and texted that photo to Tyler. So all these people that are like, it doesn't look like Tyler, you can't tell if it's Tyler. Well, people that knew Tyler can tell it was Tyler. Yeah, maybe somebody that doesn't know Tyler very well, doesn't know his mannerisms, doesn't know what he, how he stands and stuff like that. But Tyler Robinson's own coworker, his own parents, his lover and roommate, they all could tell that that's Tyler. But Candace Owens can't? What is Candace Owens trying to do? This is her final fuck you to Charlie Kirk to get off his killer. That is pure evil. Let me read what the exact Discord message is, because what we saw at the prelim was one Discord message, but there was more. And then I'm going to look at what you guys have been commenting. So this text exchange was from 11 p.m. Wednesday, September 10th, the day of the murder. From Tyler to Lance, drop what you are doing, look under my keyboard. From Lance back to Tyler, what? You're joking, right? From Tyler, fuck, I tried to delete that. From Lance, yeah, what's going on? From Tyler, I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I still gotta grab my rifle. Still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep the secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. From Lance, you weren't the one who did it, right? Let me keep going. From Tyler, I'm sorry. From Lance, I thought they caught the person. From Tyler, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. Tyler, I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. From Tyler, it's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. From Lance, why? From Tyler, I don't know. From Lance, why did I do it? Yeah. From Tyler, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. From Tyler, this is now 11:05, so this is like back and forth, one after the other. From Tyler, if I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything in the news about them finding it. Will update you by midnight. From Lance, alright, stay safe. How long have you been planning this? From Tyler, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. 3 hours ago, there was an officer with a canine walking nearby the area, hoping that Pooch has a bad sniffer. I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle, because it sounds like the police couldn't get in for a long while because of the traffic. Tyler, needless to say, I'm gonna be late coming home, might be. From Lance, just stay safe. From Tyler, I will. I'm more worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. He's far scarier than any Fed NGL. Not gonna lie. Guess I'm just sitting in my car watching reels for another hour, hoping this guy fucks off. From Lance, are you okay still? From Tyler, yeah. From Lance, what are you gonna do? From Tyler, I don't really know. Closest gas station is like 20 minutes away. I might go there. I don't know. Gonna see if the road closer to campus is open so I can drive past and check shit out. Probably still closed off though. Getting worried. Hard to know for sure, but I'm not finding my rifle. Could be in the wrong spot. From Lance, do you think they found it? From Tyler, dunno. They haven't published anything if they have. From Lance, why did you leave it behind originally? Also, does it have a serial number? From Tyler, I don't know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. I'll bet that K9 sniffed it out. Little snitching bastard. Replace is unlikely. I don't fully know what the gun was, cause it was old as shit and Gramps did some modifying. There was a 4-digit serial on it. God only knows who it's registered to. Hopefully some dead guy who gave it to Grandpa. I mean, people win cases. People win cases and lose cases on that type of evidence. I mean, the stupidity to be texting messages like that right after you murder somebody. It's but he's 23 years old. He's not a career criminal, so he doesn't know shit about how easy it is to get this. I guess he thought that if you delete the text messages, that would be it. This is part of the Discord chat that I'm about to read, but this is not from Tyler Robinson. This is on September 12th at 2 p.m. or 1:58 p.m. Hey everyone, if you have not seen the news yet, Tyler's post above, it true. He was taken into custody earlier today for the shooting of Charlie Kirk. And then there's more to it, but nothing relevant. There's another part of the text message chain between Tyler and Lance. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. You are all I worry about, love. Lance, I'm much more worried about you. Tyler, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. So again, here's my question. If he was being framed, how would the framers know that Tyler Robinson was going to surrender himself with a neighbor that is a sheriff's deputy? How would they know that? He didn't have to surrender himself that way. He could have just surrendered himself by himself, or he could have, went on the lam. There's no way that the people who framed him, if there was this massive conspiracy, could have known that he was going to turn himself in. Just crazy. One second. I'm trying to find the other Discord chat, the one from Tyler. Oh, I almost forgot. There was also the Ring or the Nest doorbell camera that caught Tyler Robinson's vehicle. Again, I think this was around midnight after the murder, around where the gun was found. And so Tyler was around there waiting for a chance to pick up the gun and the towel and the other evidence. And so that was caught on a Nest doorbell cam, and so he was parked there, and he left at 1:35, which corresponds very nicely with the 1:33 search on Google Maps. It doesn't say the starting location in the search warrant affidavit, but it does say that the end location is Tyler Robinson's apartment. So he did the search, and then within 2 minutes, bounces, and that was caught on the Nest doorbell camera. And again, everyone, you know, I am a defense lawyer. My job is to find flaws in the case. And, you know, this is devastating for a defense. So he did go to a Dairy Queen. I'm not sure about this. Apparently he went to a Dairy Queen about 6 hours after the murder. And he is wearing that same shirt that he was in the first time, not the long sleeve dark shirt. Again, hat, same sunglasses. Captured on surveillance footage. I want to know where that Dairy Queen is, because it's probably in Orem, right? He was still in Orem 6 hours after the shooting. He didn't come back until 1:35. So I'm gonna follow up on that, because that I haven't come across yet. Hold on 1 second. And then I'm going to look at your chats, everyone. Let me pull this up. Let's see if my computer is going to suck like always. Or... Okay. This is easier than trying it the tech way and putting it on my screen. So you see, that's where the rifle is. Now, it looks like his phone is here, and that looks like an imprint. But I'm not sure if this is actually when he was hiding it. I'll revisit that. I mean, as for the DNA, it's a trillion times more likely that it came from Robinson than it didn't. So, I mean, the DNA is a perfect match. Let's just say that. But I'm still looking for the Discord chat that he sent out. I want to put this all together and post it on a Substack so that everyone can see what I'm looking at. I'm just not doing it on my end because my computer sucks. Oh, okay, so here's some more text messages. So again, from Tyler, only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke. Alright, I'm gonna have to leave it. That really fucking sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. I don't know. I think that was a $2,000 scope. Delete this exchange. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who was what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. Wow. So yeah, so the Discord message, which was September 11th at 8:57 p.m. Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend again. How could anybody that is framing Tyler know that? In a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. And in a few moments, that lines up perfectly with the timing. You've all been so amazing. Thank you for everything. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, if you're still not buying this, then you're, or if you're still buying what Candace Owens is selling, then you are a gullible idiot. Sorry. Gullible idiot. Talk about slop. Never seen such a strong case. So, okay, let me see what you guys have been saying other than how much you love my content. 9-inch toe. Nine-inch toe, yeah, I know, I need a new computer. I'm not as rich as most lawyers, though. I don't have a whole lot of extra money. Yeah, so there was a, Megan, there was a picture. So Lance took a picture of the note and saved it on his phone. That's how we know what it looks like. Otherwise, all we would have left is the verdict. So, look, judge Lance all you want, but without him, this case would be much harder for the prosecution. So I feel like, you know, that part, he should be appreciated. Alright, my nose is so itchy. Let me see. Do you have the prelim bindover brief? Okay, I'm gonna read that. Is it EJ? Is it informative, or does it kind of just summarize all the stuff? You guys are great. I don't know. What else would be fun going through? Going on X. I think I'm gonna end this stream, but you guys don't let these. No, you guys are still here. Let's go on X. Maybe see what's going on here. You guys want to start a GoFundMe to get me a nicer? Just kidding. Just kidding, but not. let's go see what sort of craziness is on X, shall we? See, let's see what sort of Jew hatred is being sent my way. You guys able to see my X at all? Why did he take the pick? I mean, look, that's a good question, but they're what? I don't know how old Lance is. Tyler's 23. I mean, it's a good thing that he did, yeah. If he didn't, and he was found to be responsible for burning it, that might be obstruction and accessory after the fact. So maybe he was trying to cover his ass, and that's why he decided to take a picture of it. So, I don't know, but the rest of his messages are not really consistent with that. Oh, Megan, thank you. I don't know. I just got to save myself some money to get some nice stuff. I don't want it. But if any of you are looking for a lawyer in Southern California, I'm a good lawyer. I do criminal defense, but I also do civil stuff. So right now, all my cases in civil cases are contingency, so I'm waiting for settlements, and they take a long time. It has stuff from the autopsy in it, so let me see. I have LexisNexis. Let's see. So look, if somehow it turns out that Tyler Robinson is not the killer, if like by some like crazy situation it just ends up that Tyler Robinson is not the killer, then I think we can feel comfortable and be like, okay, wow, we fell for the most sophisticated conspiracy ever that is was so perfectly designed and executed and like, what have you. But when more evidence comes out that just further proves that Tyler Robinson is the killer, like even more, how are these idiots going to reconcile that and be like, oh, I guess I didn't really think about it that much, I think that we've shown that we're on the side of reason no matter what, and these people are just conspiracy nonsense retards, and it always comes back to the Jews. These people that are questioning this, when I go look on their X space or their X pages, happens to be that they also have all these other conspiracies about Jews, and I don't think that's a coincidence. Okay. So, let me see. I want to see what EJ you're talking about. You guys, do me a favor, help spread my channel and stuff. You guys are great. but I'd like to have a little bit more subscribers than just 200. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna look up Tyler Robinson's case. Where did I get all my stuff before? I was looking up Dr. Christensen to find out his CV. He was the medical examiner, and basically what I found is that he's very qualified. So oh my God, did you see Brianna Boo talking golf all week about Zionist? I was throwing a fit in your comment section in the nicest, most Christian way possible. I don't know who Brianna Boo is. Brianna Wu. Oh, I thought she was, yeah, Brianna Wu, yeah. But I thought she was, isn't she like pro-Zionist or something? Unless I'm thinking of someone else. Eclectic journalist, I'm going to just Google search what it was. The bind-over brief. Tyler Robinson bind-over. Said it was just filed today. Seeing stuff from 2 days ago. EJ, can you point to me where I can find the bind-over brief? Because I don't know why when I do a search on my Lexus, which I'm pretty sure that's where I got my other documents from, but maybe I got it from some other one. Oh, yeah, Megan. Yeah, I mean, I'll take whatever friends we got. You know, my personal view on the trans things is keep it away from the kids, and you do what you want when you're an adult, as long as you're not hurting anyone. I don't care. I mean, I'm not gonna entertain it, but as long as you keep it away from the kids, I don't care. Yeah, I'm not. Oh, okay, you sent me a link on problem. Oh, yeah, I could do it on my computer. Memorandum in support of prelim. Oh, is that Andrea Burkhart? Hey, if anyone knows this Andrea Burkhart, like, I'd like to do a show with her. She seems like she's very talented here. My whole thing is I'm not good at memorizing stuff, but I'm good at using logic and reasoning. That's why I tutor the LSAT. Right? I don't really do it much anymore, but I used to tutor the LSAT a lot. And so that's kind of my forte, is logic, reasoning, argument, stuff like that. More than memorizing specific cases and statutes. And that's why it's like, whenever somebody asks me about a specific case or a specific statute and then I don't know, people are like, you're not a lawyer. And I'm like, yeah, I am. I don't have the best memorization. I'm good at the logical thinking and thinking on my feet. But when it comes to memorizing statutes and stuff like that, I'm not the best. Let me see if I can share this on my screen. My guess is that it will not. See how it works? When I share it, it's pure white, but on my side, it's not. So I'm just gonna go large again. Okay, let me see this. It's 28 pages, and this one is by the state of Utah. Yeah, okay, cool. This is great. Thanks, EJ. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna skip over the boring legal stuff, but I'm gonna read it to you all so that keep this thing going. Okay, on September 10th, 2025, okay, so first, let's start at the top. Intro, okay, it's just an intro, some legalese, Charlie Kirk. Okay, I'll just read it. Introduction. This is likely as straightforward a bind-over decision as this court will ever see. Yeah, I agree with that. After admitting to several friends, including his roommate and romantic partner, that he assassinated Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University, UVU, on September 10th, 2025, in front of approximately 3,000. You know what? I was going to say, maybe I want to do this as a separate live, but I'll just divide it up. Okay. Sorry. On September 10th, 2025, in front of approximately 3,000 eyewitnesses, defendant surrendered to law enforcement for that crime. These admissions, along with others, establish probable cause to support most of the elements of the charges. DNA testing, surveillance video, and eyewitness testimony buttress those elements and demonstrate probable cause to support the remaining elements. The court should bind defendant for trial over on all accounts. And if I've ever said I'm certain about something, you know, I always hedge my bets because nothing in life is certain, but I'm basically as certain as humanly possible that the judge will bind this over for trial. There's just like, if he didn't, the prosecution would appeal and they would win. On September 10th, 2025, so this is the facts, Charlie Kirk and his organization TPUSA were holding an event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Several thousand people attended and filled the amphitheater near the center of campus and west of the Lucy building. Lucy. After the event began, Mr. Kirk seated himself under a canopy tent position on the west side of the amphitheater, below the Hall of Flags. At approximately 12:23 and 28 seconds, they got it down to the second, an attendee standing directly in front of Mr. Kirk was questioning him. And I think he was also happened to be questioning him about trans, but when a gunshot rang out and a bullet struck the left side of Mr. Kirk's neck, killing him. The bullet's trajectory was from front to back, slightly left to right, and downward. The investigation. The medical examiner concluded the manner of death to be homicide. A forensic examination conducted by the ATF revealed that the bullet that killed Mr. Kirk was a .30 caliber class round. It created a complex entrance gunshot wound and fragmented in Mr. Kirk's neck. The bullet, or at least parts of it, sequentially perforated the anterior left side of Mr. Kirk's neck, strap muscles of the left side of the neck, and the left common carotid and left internal and external jugular veins. The bullet also obliterated the left side of the C2 through 7 vertebrae and transected the cervical spinal cord. The medical examiner observed that a significant portion of Mr. Kirk's cervical spinal cord was traumatically absent. Mr. Kirk suffered other severe injuries, including bilateral apical and posterior intercostal hemorrhages. Okay, I'm not going to read every medical jargon. Goes on to describe more about the injuries and in medical terminology. Okay, when the bullet struck Mr. Kirk, Officer Christopher Bagley of the UVU Police was stationed on the south end of the walkway roof of the Hall of Flags above Mr. Kirk's canopy. Based on his experience with firearms, Bagley believed that the bullet came from a rifle fired from a position east of Mr. Kirk's canopy. Remember how I said that this was part of Bagley's testimony. Recognizing that 1, the Losi building was east of the amphitheater, and 2, someone on the roof of that building would have a direct line of sight to where Mr. Kirk had been seated, Officer Bagley quickly made his way to that roof. There he observed a screwdriver about 10 or 15 feet from the guardrail. He also observed disturbances in the gravel at the southwest edge of the roof that were consistent with the quote sniper pad, meaning a place where a person was quote laying in a prone position with the quote line of sight to where Mr. Kirk had been seated. Officer Bagley reviewed surveillance video of the Losi building rooftop. That video shows a male running towards the southwest edge of the roof and then dropping down, crawling and getting into a prone position at the edge of the roof. The video further shows that at approximately 12:23:28, so that the exact second, the moment of the gunshot, that individual quickly stood up, ran northeast across the roof carrying a long, skinny black object, and eventually dropped himself down from the northeast side of the roof to the ground. That individual crossed Campus Drive and entered a wooded area on the north side of Campus Drive. In that wooded area, police later recovered a rifle wrapped in a black towel. The rifle was an operable Mauser model 98 30-06 Springfield caliber rifle. A telescopic sight was mounted on the rifle. Investigators reviewed hundreds of hours of UVU surveillance video to track forwards and backwards the person that was seen on the Losi building roof at the time of the shooting. After a defendant turned himself in, investigators also reviewed the footage searching for someone matching defendant's description and driving his car. So you see, they were reviewing all these hours and hours and hours of UVU surveillance footage before Tyler Robinson surrendered. But they didn't know exactly which cars were relevant to the investigation. They saw a whole bunch of cars coming and going. It wasn't until Tyler Robinson surrendered that they knew to look out for a 2013 Dodge Challenger. They want to make sure, is this guy just a crazy person off the street trying to take credit for a crime that he didn't commit and had nothing to do with? Or is he being honest? And so they found that he was being honest. They found the 2013 Dodge Challenger. Okay, so those efforts revealed that a vehicle registered a defendant arrived on campus the morning of the shooting. The surveillance video also shows an individual believed to be defendant walking around the UVU campus that morning, going to the railing of the... Wow, so this is a new thing I don't know if I saw. The first time that he went, when he was casing the place, he actually went to the roof or the railing on the roof of the Low-C building. So he goes to UVU campus, he walks around, he wants to find where a good shot would be. Probably, he might have even asked TPUSA members, where's Charlie going to be standing? Where is he going to be speaking? I don't know. But the surveillance catches him before this first time going to the Low-C building roof area. So he's casing the place, finding where he's going to perch. And then leaving campus. Investigators ultimately determined that the defendant visited UVU campus at least 4 times on September 10th through 11th. Twice before the shooting, a third time just before noon on the 10th. So that's the time that he took the shot. And then a 4th time in the early hours of September 11th after the shot. Wow. I don't know if that came out during the prelim. I do not remember that he went back to UVU after the shooting. Surveillance video shows that when defendant returned to campus just before noon on the 10th, he was wearing different clothing. So it was the 3rd time that he's wearing different clothing. But his shoes were the same. Defendant was also walking with a limp. Defendant's roommate and romantic partner Lance Twiggs confirmed that still images taken from that portion of the surveillance video and that show front views of the individual's face, quote, definitely did look like defendant Tyler Robinson. So all these people that are saying Lance Twiggs didn't positively identify him, they're lying. Yes, he did. In testimony under oath. Given their extensive review of the surveillance footage, investigators concluded that defendant was the individual who was walking with a limp up to the stairs that access the Low-C building roof shortly before noon, who was on that rooftop at the time of the shooting, and who dropped off that rooftop and made his way to the wooded area where the rifle was found. At approximately 12:36 a.m., so this is on a September 11th, so this is at night. Defendant returned to the intersection of Campus Drive and 800 South on the UVU campus. He attempted to turn south on Campus Drive, but was turned away by an officer stationed at the intersection. So I think that I remember this coming up, but not in the prelim. But that is just another data point, because that's going to definitely be caught on the officer's dash cam and or his body worn camera. Campus Drive leads to the wooded area where the rifle was found in the bushes. Remember his text message that there's an officer lingering? That lines up pretty nicely. How could whoever framed Tyler Robinson have made Tyler Robinson do all this stuff perfectly in line with the framing? It's so ridiculously stupid. The conspiracies. Retards. DNA. Okay, so again, Campus Drive leads to the wooded area where the rifle was found in the bushes. I hope that Candace Owens, Stu Peters, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Ian Carroll, all of these morons will never ever be allowed to live this down. Never let them forget how stupid they are. Especially Candace. But all the people. DNA testing of the screwdriver recovered from the Low-C building roof and the towel wrapped around the rifle provided, quote, very strong support for including defendant as having contributed to the DNA samples recovered from those items. DNA testing on the recovered rifle's trigger guard, grips, protected underside of the receiver, and other parts, as well as the fired cartridge casing in the rifle, supported including defendant as having contributed to the DNA samples recovered from those items and areas. On the evening of September 11, 2025, defendant surrendered himself to law enforcement in connection with Mr. Kark's assassination. Defendant also admitted to Mr. Twiggs and other friends that he had shot Mr. Kirk. And then it lists the charges. Now it's argument. The argument is just legal support precedent. Not okay. So I'm getting more to defendant repeatedly admitted, I'm now on page 9, that he shot Mr. Kirk using defendant's grandfather's rifle, including, quote, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I took it. Quote, I am the one who did it. I'm sorry. Quote, why did I do it? I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. Quote, if I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything in the news about them finding it. Quote, I have been planning this a bit over a week, I believe. Quote, I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle, because it sounds like the police couldn't get in for a long while because of the traffic. Quote, remember how I was engraving bullets? The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. If I see, quote, notices bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke. Quote, judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. I don't know. Quote, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. Quote, hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Quote, it was me. Look at the pictures from the surveillance footage. It was me. I'm serious. I don't remember hearing that. He said that. It was me. Look at the pictures from the surveillance footage. It was me. I'm serious. Wow. Candace. Candace. We can't tell if it's him. Oh my god, he's doing a lateral crawl. Can't be him. Retard. Retard alert, Candace. You're a retard. You're also evil. You're a sociopath and a retard. Quite the combination. Defendant also surrendered to law enforcement in connection with the shooting. This is what I tell a lot of people that don't seem to understand the law, that surrendering, although it's not something that like you can, I mean, when you surrender for a crime, you don't surrender for a crime if you didn't do it. You don't. You go in and you say, look, you have, I'm being framed. And you go in with a lawyer or something, and you say, I'm not going to be arrested for this. But you don't go in and surrender. Okay? If you're the subject, this is advice for anybody who ends up in a situation where they're a suspect of a crime. Do not go in and surrender for the crime. You don't want to do that. Okay? If you think that being cooperative is going to help mitigate that, there's some, reason to think that, but you do not go in to surrender. Defendant's car was at the UVU campus. Again, not only did defendant admit that he was the one depicted in the public screen captures from UVU surveillance footage, defendant's roommate and romantic partner confirmed that the individual in those screen captures showing the individual's full face definitely looked like defendant. Okay. So some of it is just repeating stuff we already said, because now it's going through each element. Now they're talking about the planning. So a lot of it we already covered, but Defendant engraved bullets that he loaded into the 30-06. That shows planning. This was not a heat of passion situation. That can sometimes reduce culpability if you're in a fight with somebody, or you just have a mental break and you pull out a gun. That usually will be charged as second-degree murder or something other than first degree. But so they have to show the planning, the malice aforethought. So one of the things, again, he took target practice before the shooting and engraved cartridges. Yeah, that shows a little bit of planning. Defendant first surveilled the campus, then he changed his clothes, then he returned to campus with a rifle. He used a screwdriver to assemble the rifle. That rifle was loaded with 4 engraved cartridges. Now it's going into the aggravating circumstance, which in this case is that there was a lot of other people that he put at risk by taking the shot. Which is another point, Candace Owens, by getting Tyler Robinson off, not only are you just hurting Erica Kirk and Charlie's legacy and all that, but think about all these other people that were put at risk by Tyler Robinson. They so easily could have been killed by misfire, or if the bullet went through and hit them. So, and these people also are not gonna get justice because of Candace Owens. I would sue Candace if I'm one of these other people in the crowd, trying to get off somebody that could have killed me or a family member. Sick. C-U-N-T. Okay, now we're getting into a lot more legal precedent. I'm going to continue. This is very informative. Thank you, EJ. And it's not even getting, again, through everything. Defendant directed Mr. Twiggs to delete this exchange and not to speak to police. So this, I think, gets to the other charge of obstruction. These other counts we haven't been talking about that much, because really aggravated murder is the big one. But they have to, and I think EJ, you brought this up in that X space. That's part of what took a while during the prelim, is or why they couldn't get to everything that they wanted to, or certain people wanted them to, because they have to prove these other crimes, each element, beyond not beyond probable cause for each element of each of the charges, so they couldn't get to everything. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child. So I think that probably what you were saying, EJ, in that X space, is that they had to, pivot to establish some evidence that there was somebody under the age of 14 in the presence of Charlie Kirk at the time. Otherwise, that charge would be thrown out. And so a video from a mother... Yeah, so this is why they they talked about this video from a mother in the crowd that shows that she was with her children, but it doesn't really show much about the murder, but it does show that she's with her child. That's why they spent time going through that. So that was a good point, EJ. I don't know why my nose is all itchy. And then, so again, a lot of this is just now it's going into defendant's lifestyle. It's standing in contrast to Mr. Kirk's religious and political views, which is relevant for the victim targeting enhancement. But it doesn't really talk about additional evidence. But here it says, one of the unspent cartridges found in defendant's grandfather's rifle contained an inscription referencing homosexuality. Quote, if you read this, you are gay. Another one says, hey, fascist, catch. So again, this is showing that it's Mr. Kirk, or Mr. Kirk, I'm reading it, Charlie Kirk was specifically targeted because of his political views. So, good one, EJ. Good recommendation. Does everyone want me to keep going, or I'm having fun, but Nine-inch toe. So the defense will have until September 1st to file their brief. Usually you're supposed to file it like more than a day before the oral argument. So my guess is they're going to file it before then. I don't know Utah, rules specifically, but yeah, it's probably going to be at least a week before September 1st. Yeah, EJ, when are we gonna do a joint stream or something, or any of you? I like to share the stage, so to speak. Hey, Aletta960, I think I've met you a few times before, but Sierra Lord 563, you're new. Nice to meet you, welcome. Megan J, we've talked. Just seeing if there's anybody new. What came first, his engravings or the bullets, or his plan to kill Charlie? That's a good question, because I thought Lance Twiggs testified that he was started engraving like close to a month before, whereas Tyler was planning this, he said, for a little over a week. And remember, he was saying that to Lance, so he was probably being truthful about that. And then I don't think that they started advertising the UVU event. I think August 27th was when they started the advertising, which makes sense because all the search warrant affidavits were asking for digital evidence from August 27th through September 12th. So it would seem odd that he was making these engravings even before he had any idea that Charlie Kirk was going to be coming to Utah. But, that could just be Lance was wrong about that. Or maybe he was planning on carrying it out even if Charlie was not coming to Utah. Maybe he would have, traveled, or maybe he would have used it on someone else. One thing I don't understand, why did the prosecutors say they don't have video of the shot? I understand it's blurry, but that is not how I would have characterized it. Thoughts? Yeah, so they do have video of the shot, right? Yeah, I don't know. It could be that they just misspoke. Yeah. Um, so there you go, EJ with the alley-oop to help me out with the assist. Thank you. So yes, the evidence is overwhelming. All these people that are like trying to turn it into a meme, like, oh my god, the Fed sloppers are saying it's overwhelming, it's so overwhelming, like trying to mock us, like, yeah, it's fucking overwhelming. It is overwhelming. What more do you want? In murder cases, you don't get this level of evidence usually, unless, I mean, sometimes you have an eyewitness that witnesses the murder. That would be ideal, but usually murderers don't leave eyewitnesses, right? Or they, commit a murder and they wait until there's no eyewitnesses. So usually you don't get an eyewitness. I mean, if it's an attempted murder, then the victim, if it's, up close and personal, will identify who attempted to murder them. But short of that, I've never seen a case with so much evidence. I've never seen one. And we haven't even seen all the evidence. And we know there's going to be more evidence. So it's just, if this is not enough evidence for someone to be convicted, then I want you on my jury, because you won't convict anybody for anything, ever. You want, like, absolute certainty, which is something that is basically impossible. You people have given me hope, because sometimes I go on X and it seems like there's almost a majority of people out there that are this stupid. And again, I'm a criminal defense lawyer. I'm looking for good defenses. I am a good defense lawyer. Not to toot my own horn, but I am. I find the holes. I look for the flaws. Yeah, no one would ever be convicted of murder by these people. It's just like, I mean, wow. And Tyler Robinson has a good defense team. I personally think. I know some people think that they're not as good, but from what I've seen, they're good. I don't know what more they can do. They're doing what they can based on the situation. The prosecution is also good. Everyone. The judge is also good. They're crossing their T's and dotting their I's all the way through. The investigators, the prosecution, the judge, the defense, everybody's doing this the right way. And it's just, look, Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. I'm sorry. Now, the only question that remains to me is, was there anybody else involved? I don't think Lance Twiggs was involved. I don't think so. But because the way that they're talking to one another, they're very frank and open. Because it seems like he thinks that if you delete the text messages, that's it. But they don't interact like, hey, I did what we discussed. Nothing like that came out. So, yeah, 9 Inch to, like, stupid people. There's a lot of stupid people. Think about how stupid the average person is, and I'm not trying to sound snobby, but think about how stupid the average person is, and then remember that half the world is dumber than that. So there's a lot of stupid people. And you know, there's nothing wrong with being stupid. You know, some people can't help it. But it's when you're stupid and you indulge in it and you're proud of it. And you wear it like, and you have say in other people's life that has consequences. That's dangerous. Imagine if one of these stupid ass people gets on the jury. Just takes one person to let Tyler Robinson off. Now again, I'm maintaining that it's going to be a life without parole plea, because the defense knows that unless they get a candy tart, they're going to lose the case. Then it's a question of is it going to be life or is it going to be death? That they're going to have, I think, a little bit better position to argue. Yeah, EJ, that's what pisses me off. It's like, it's the stupidity combined with the confidence. Like, it's like me walking into a quantum mechanics lecture and just like arguing with the professor. Like, no, that's not how electrons behave. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I have some humility. Yeah, if it's one person, yeah, there will be, if it's a hung jury, it will be mistrial that they try again. But it's not, you know, like, fun for anyone. And if it happens again, I don't know, I think some states have like a statutory thing where you can't be tried a third time. I don't know if that's the situation in Utah. Hold on, everyone, I'm just grabbing a drink. You guys, I don't mind staying here. I don't know if any of our other friends are doing a live right now. I don't want to take away from them. Let me see. We got anybody else? I'll check my usual crew. But what everyone can do is keep bugging Artie and Paramount and everybody. Keep telling them that you want them to have me. I have fun doing this. So it looks like Paramount's not on, Lady Luck is not on, Artie's not on, Storybox is not on, so maybe I'll keep you guys with me for a little bit. The feds can charge him if Utah can't get it done. Yeah. I mean, you have a good point. Okay. I mean, look, I agree that he's gonna get conviction. He's gonna get convicted. But I still think that they're gonna offer the plea deal. But yeah, you make a good point that it's like maybe they won't. Yeah. Look, life without the possibility of parole for this guy, it's not like, you know, a slap on the wrist. It's still considered, you know, pretty harsh punishment for murder. Yeah, he's done other things, it's aggravated, all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, he brings up some good points, EJ. Was I watching the live streams of Andrea Burkhart covering the prelim? No, because I was a guest on Paramount when I was able to be. When would a plea likely come? Not for a while, my guess, because first the defense is going to, first we're going to get the bind over decision. Then the defense is going to, try and argue to exclude all the evidence at trial. Because if they get lucky, if they find some, chain of custody issue with the DNA or, some other fuck up by the prosecution that it could get a big sanction, they want to try all that. And then I think once all that fails, then they're gonna, fall back. And from the prosecution's point of view, again, I think they'll keep the plea open until trial, because even if they secure a conviction at trial, I don't think that the death penalty will be, just like easy for them to get that sentence. It's a separate hearing. Again, it has to be unanimous. And here we're dealing with a young person without a criminal record, so this is not like he's like a repeat offender. That they're gonna bring in Tyler Robinson's family and stuff to show that how his death would affect them. I don't think that Erica Kirk is going to take the stand and be like, yeah, I want him to be killed. It doesn't seem like she's that type of person. I don't know about Charlie's parents, if they would be different, but so I think that the prosecution would take that plea up until trial, but this is just educated guess. Yeah. Agreed, EJ. Agreed, EJ. Megan says she doesn't think a plea deal. You could be right. You could be right. It's just my guess. I could be wrong. I don't know. Utah's a definitely more conservative place than California. So in California, they probably would be a little bit more likely to offer that because they'd be less likely to get the death sentence. Although we do, actually worked with the DA's office on one of the few cases that person was sentenced to death. But this person, killed multiple people, and had just like a life of crime without any possibility of what's the word? I'm getting better, I guess. Here, this is Tyler Robinson's first crime. That we know of. So the defense is going to argue during the sentencing phase that he has a lifetime in jail to be remorseful, and the words on the tip of my tongue. Because of the nature of the crime and its magnitude of Charlie being famous, I believe he needs to be made an example. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, make an example out of him. But it's up to the jury. And it's an 8-member jury, which is definitely better for the prosecution. You don't have to be unanimous with 12, which I think that helps the prosecution. But it has to be unanimous to give him death. And a lot of people are just, morally opposed. And we're going to see a lot of, during that phase is all the mitigation. In terms of public safety and deterrence for copycats. Yeah. Look, life without the possibility of parole. It's not like, some people would say they prefer death to living that type of life. So, I personally don't don't have any sympathy for Tyler either way. If he gets a death penalty or if he gets life without parole, either way, I'll be satisfied with that. Don't think if he gets a death penalty, we're not gonna see him see the death penalty carried out for many years. There's a long appeal process and many different forms of appeals, especially for death penalties. So we're not going to see that type of quick justice. What happens if this is bound over for trial, which is like, I never say 100% about anything because who knows, but I am as close to 100% as I've ever been that it will be bound over for trial. I'm thinking in terms of the grifters. Won't the prosecution and defense go dark and start working on the case? What will the grifters do for content? I think grifters will grift. I don't know. They'll probably go back to talking about the Jews for a long time. Candace Owens. What a 6. And the way that she has exploited this for her own personal gain. But we all agree that Candace Owens is super sick in the head. Can we start talking shit about Megyn Kelly? Because I am so disgusted with her behavior. And Tucker Carlson, who I personally think Tucker Carlson, is my opinion, is the most dangerous anti-Semite in American history. Not world history, but American history. He is such a bad person. And then Megyn Kelly, I mean, to claim that Erica Kirk is your friend and to not just come out and say that what she's doing to your friend is wrong. What a horrible person. No Jews, no news. No Jews, no news. Yeah, that laugh solves it for me. Yeah, Tucker solves. A lot of people ask, I keep hearing all these conservatives, what happened to Tucker? What happened to Tucker? And I was like a fan of Tucker during the COVID era and stuff. I agreed with him on the COVID stuff. But I kind of always sensed that he had a problem with Jews. I've kind of always sensed it. He was just not able to be so forthright about it when he was on Fox News. But I think he's always had a problem. Yeah, no, Megyn is just, to me, Megyn is like a kite in the wind that will just go whichever way the wind is blowing, and she sees all this support that Tucker and Candace get. I mean, a lot of it's just from bots, and she wants that, and that's why she's going with it. She doesn't have any actual spine to hold her, and that's pretty bad. Doesn't make her evil like Candace and Tucker, in my opinion, but it does make her a spineless jellyfish. At first I thought they just wanted to be the opposition to the current. No, I think Tucker is just a Jew hater, honestly. I think he's a Jew hater. I think Candace is a Jew hater plus a lot of other things. I mean, to go after Erica the way she has, and to just her whole narcissistic personality and evil and stupidity. But with Tucker, I think he's just a Jew hater. I think that, because if you notice, that's the only problem he has with Trump. is that he doesn't like that Trump, doesn't hate Israel. But because of that, he ignores everything else. Like, you would think he's in favor of Trump's policy on the border, on deregulation, lower taxes, anti-trans stuff, and he is. They're on the same side. But because Trump is not anti-Jewish and anti-Israel, that is Tucker's red line. That's all he cares about. That's why like 99% of his episodes are about Israel. Makes her kind of Megyn Kelly. Yeah, I mean Megyn, yeah, I'm not going to disagree with anyone that calls her evil. I think she's a coward. I think that's kind of like, I don't know if it's evil, but it's a bad trait. Yeah, and she doesn't just go with the wind on like just this and Candace. She goes with the wind. Like before, she was pro-trans, then she was pro-Trump, and now she's anti-Trump, and she was pro-Israel, now she's anti-Israel, so she's just a fucking jellyfish. EJ, but Trump was crazy pro-Israel the first run. Yeah, but it wasn't so important. It wasn't Israel wasn't that big of a news. It wasn't in the news ever before October 7th. I mean, it was always kind of in the news. And if you notice, Tucker, even on Fox, would never touch Israel. He just wouldn't touch it. But Trump's first term was really was overshadowed by the Russiagate nonsense, the impeachment jokes, then the January 6th quote unquote insurrection nonsense. COVID obviously ended it, so it wasn't relevant. Megyn Kelly's bad faith bunny also. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't even see what the appeal is with Megyn. I never really saw the appeal. Even if she was on our side and on my side, I still would feel that way. I don't see the appeal. She doesn't seem that interesting or smart or perceptive at all. That's just my opinion. So same thing with Candace. Tucker, I could kind of see some of his appeal. Like, he's very confident. He's very, I wouldn't say eloquent, but he's good at what he does. And I liked him when he was going on the COVID stuff. Like, I liked his takes during COVID. But now he's just part of this whole conspiracy Jew hate shit. Everything's about the Jews. Every fucking thing. From now, now the Jews are being blamed for the Moroccans that are invading Spain. Put that together for me. A bunch of tens of thousands of Moroccan Muslims who probably hate Israel are invading Spain, whose government hates Israel, and somehow Israel is the fault. It's the mental gymnastics people make to blame shit on Jews is crazy. I never trusted Tucker, even back in the day. That bow tie was a tell for me. Yeah, and he just didn't touch the Jews. I feel like the reason why is he knew that if he would, his hatred would come out, and he was on Fox News, so he couldn't. But I feel like he did go a little dog whistling racist, right? Oh, I've been to Spain, Megan. Spain is beautiful. I mean, she was so. Hey, my mom has the worst case of Trump derangement syndrome of anybody. And she's, I try to convince her. she's coming around away from the Democrats. I'm like, Mom, Democrats don't like us Jews. You know, it's like this is not Bill Clinton's Democrat Party anymore. This is not even Obama's Democrat Party anymore. But she doesn't like Trump. And yeah, I mean, I can see how Trump rubs some people the wrong way, but I look at his policies and I like him. Doesn't like Trump, but voted for him because it was a better option. Well, that's cool. I mean, I agree with him. He was definitely the better option. He's not very. Sometimes he says some things that I think are obnoxious. It's not enough for me to like say I don't like him, but like sometimes I'm like, dude, you kind of sound stupid right now. Tucker's always been so cringe. Yeah, but I did like his during the COVID stuff. I feel like he was one of the few people that was pushing back on. That was the only time I really liked him. And then I think also he was right about the January 6th. That was kind of one thing I was interested at the time, before Israel was really in the news, and Charlie Kirk assassination and other things. I was kind of following the J6 stuff, and I feel like that was ridiculous, like political theater. The persecutions of these people that were just like, and it was a huge. That was kind of conspiracy. That was so I liked that Tucker was talking about that stuff. That's when I liked him. Yeah. And that bow tie. Yeah, what was with the bow ties? Like him and Louis Farrakhan. What's with anti-Semites and bow ties? No, Tucker is possessed by a demon. I don't know. I really hate Tucker. It's a close tie between him and Candace. I don't know. I'm curious. Are most of you people are most of them you guys Jewish? I'm just wondering. Because when I was on that X Space the other day, and I was mentioning how there seems to be a significant overlap between these conspiracy theorists about Tyler Robinson and people that hate Jews, and then all of them were like so offended, like, and I'm like, are you serious? You don't see this? Like, dude, look in your comment sections. Look in Candace's comment sections, and you'll see it. How can you be so oblivious? I didn't say everyone, but I said there's a significant overlap. And they got so offended, and they're like, you notice how all these people pushing back against Candace are Zionists? And I'm like, yeah, well, notice how like Candace is perpetuating a lot of Jew hate. Maybe that's why Jews are kind of outspoken against her. But okay, cool, Megan, thank you. Well, thank you for not jumping on the Jew hate bandwagon. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And I'm not, I don't demand. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, any criticism of Israel is too much. I don't like that side either. Where it's like, just because you don't support everything Israel does, you get branded an anti-Semite. I hate that. You got to save that term for legit anti-Semites, and there are many. Cool. Yeah. Well, thank you, 9 Inch Toe and Megan. We us Jews really, appreciate the friendship. Sometimes it feels like the whole world is against us, and so thank you. Cool, EJ. Cool, cool. Yeah, again, I mean, the way I define Zionism is, it's kind of an outdated term because Israel exists. So, like, to say you're a Zionist now, it's like you just want Israel to be treated like anyone else, and I think that's fair. I have family in Israel, so I don't expect other people to have the same affection to Israel that I do. That would be, silly to expect that. Like, I don't have any particular affection to Ireland, for example. I'm not saying I'm anti-Ireland or anything, but I don't have any family connection there. Somebody that has family there, I'm sure will have a connection. So I don't expect others to have that same connection. But, the difference is that Israel's like always, under attack and hated. So, yeah, thank you, EJ. EJ, we're all. I love America though. I mean, America, of course, is my home, my country, and if it ever came to a war between America and Israel, I'd support America because I'm an American. Most of my family is America, but thankfully that's not coming to that, and I have family in Israel. So, and I love Israel too because I've been there and it's a cool place to go. I recommend it to anybody. Yeah, thank you, Alita. I happen to also be a two-state solution person, which I know a lot of pro-Israel people don't support, but I think Palestinians deserve their own state. Just I don't think that they deserve it right now. They got to get their shit together and show that they can live side by side in peace. At which point, I think they deserve their own state. Just, right now it's not ready, but they're not ready for it. Oh my god, you guys are great. I'm gonna get off because I think that I kind of want to review this. Do you guys have any tips for me? What can I do to make my show better? Besides the tech stuff. Megan, yeah, let's do it. Are you against the two-state solution? Here's the thing: is that if Israel doesn't give, if the two-state solution is not possible, then Israel has to give everybody that they control equal citizenship. Otherwise, how is it not apartheid? Israel proper, pre-1967 Israel is certainly not apartheid. You have Arab Muslims, 20% of the population that have equal rights under the law, everything. So that's fine. But when you're talking about the West Bank, you either have to say that it's part of Israel, and that's why Israel's settling it and all this stuff. See, thank you, EJ. That's good advice. The problem is that I'm in my home office, which was a converted garage, and so it gets really effing hot. Yeah. Well, I enjoyed the engagement too, 9-inch toe. But or 9-toe, 9-inch toe. But yeah, so either they give the Palestinians a state on the West Bank, and it doesn't have to be 100% of it because they lost the wars. So you got to. But here's the thing, Megan. They got to give the same citizenship rights to everybody that they control. Otherwise, that would be apartheid, would it not? And again, I'm not saying they should do this now because the Palestinians don't deserve it now. Personally, I don't think they. Okay, EJ, 9-inch toe. I definitely take that to heart. I will just keep the AC running really. Yeah, because I don't have the whole HVAC in here, so I have this portable unit that makes all the noise, and it gets hot. Also, the chair's squeaky. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna write that down. Squeaky chair. AC. Okay, 9-inch, but that's the thing. What niche could I say? I mean, what makes me unique? I just go based on my logic, reason, common sense, and basic Judeo-Christian values. So it's not, it doesn't set me apart, but that's. That's just the way I am. So if I were to, find a niche on other topics, then it wouldn't really be me, speaking from the heart. Okay. Why am I doing it? No, mostly for fun. I'm not trying to make money. I just I like to express my opinion, push back against stupidity and hatred. And I would like to get a bigger audience that allows me to express my opinion to more people. But it's not gonna be like my main job. Uncivil law. Okay, let me write that down. Uncivil law. Thank you, Alita. That's nice. Ooh, 9-inch toe. That's good. Yeah, I could do that. I mean, that wouldn't be that much fun for you guys. For anyone that's not in, studying for the LSAT, it's kind of it's not exactly a exciting topic, but yeah, I can do that. I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about talking about. Actually, I'm gonna have a guest on soon, a former expert that I used as a witness in one of my criminal defense cases that I had good success with. Thank you, EJ. Well, thank you also. It was interesting that you sent me that. I'm glad you sent me that brief. You guys are great. Thank you. Stay sane. I'm going to get off. I'm going to check on other channels, and I'm sure I'll catch you guys in the chats on RD or LLC or Paramount, or who else is part of the crew? Rage, Bronson, Continue Freedom. But I'm looking for the stuff about Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk, Candace. So, different types of law-based content. Yeah, it's good. All right. Well, thank you so much. I had fun. I'll talk with all of you soon. Jay Witt. Yeah, I haven't done any show with him, but I'll check out that channel. Good night, you guys.